All right, welcome back to another episode of the Fan Connection podcast. Today we're joined by co-hosts Bertaman and Punch underscore YYC. How's it going, Lucky Looney? How's it going, Fella Ammo? Happy to have you both in chat. Here's a crazy proposition to start the stream off before we get into any topics, just for fun. What if the Calder Cup champion in the AHL decided which team gets the first overall pick? What do you guys think of that? Make the AHL a bit more interesting. More people would watch it. Just for fun. Like, I'm not saying this should happen. I'm just saying for fun.
And then they give, is it like the lottery, like the same lottery teams, then they choose from there?
Just throw in all the teams that miss the playoffs, AHL squads, and just see who wins.
How about that? But a cooler thing was if you had all the lottery teams play it off in like a playoff series for the first overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
But the only problem is Arizona has no chance because you've got these.
Go on, yeah.
Well, because you have these fringe playoff teams. So imagine Vegas.
Yeah, but you can't send down your NHL squads. Like, to participate in the AHL playoffs, you have to have been sent down by the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like,
I was talking about the lottery teams from the NHL.
Right.
So what Ponch is saying, so what I think the best thing to do is, you take if you're going to do something like this, I don't know about the AHL team thing, but like, that'd be a little whack. Especially because we can't watch the AHL games. It would be fun though. But
well, they make it viewable, you know?
Yeah, I guess you're right. But if you do the bottom 4 NHL teams and do a little tournament, like a little mini tournament, you do like, they each play once. Whoever's the top 2 records or whatever it is, then they play each other for the pick. That'd be cool, man. Rank them 1 to 4, and there's your top 4.
I'm in. I'm all in on that idea, to be honest with you. Oh, I just made a bunch of noise with a piece of paper. My bad for that. But I'm all in, honestly. Just make it more entertaining for teams that miss the playoffs. You know? Like, I'm bored. I'm bored right now as a Habs fan.
The only thing that's giving me something to like cheer for too, right?
I'm cheering about Carey Price coming back, which is really cool. But other than that, like if you're Arizona, what are you cheering for right now? Yay, Jay Beagle just beat up Trevor Zegras a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yay, we lost.
Yeah, we can fit all of our fans in our new stadium.
Yay, we just lost by a large margin to a bunch of teams in a row. Same with Montreal. Woo, having a great time, guys.
Also,
I don't know.
Punch.
Just an idea.
Just another thing I was telling Mike this morning of a little Fortnite idea, which I asked you, Punch, like 10 times, but I don't think you heard me anytime I said it. But like, I was like, yo, what if we just do a little podcast while we play Fortnite, or we play? Well, Mike said Warzone. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That'd be sick. And we're just like literally talking hockey. All our call-outs have to be like, through the game. Like, you can't talk. I mean, I don't know.
Or we just straight up play the game. For fun.
Yeah, we could just straight
I think people would be down for that.
Yeah, I guess. But wouldn't it be funny if we just like win the game while we're talking about like, oh yeah, and then this team beat this team, and Barkov had a great game, and we're not even celebrating the win. We're just like, oh yeah, Barkov, great, cool. 100 points. But yeah, you're right. We could just play the game too. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm already down for that. Punch, it's really up to you if you want to join us on Warzone. We can get. I know I play with Carter sometimes. Candy.
Yeah.
So we get Candy in there too. Have a fun Warzone squad going, 4 people. Just trying to.
It'd be cool from time to time.
First IRL pod is when Ponch is in Canada. That's when we can talk about it.
Whenever Ponch is in Canada, and all 3 of us can be in the same place at one time without any COVID restrictions, essentially.
Well, because I always have to fly through Vancouver or through LA. So I could definitely, if we could figure out a time, because I might be coming back to Calgary. If we can figure out a time, we could definitely meet. I think Vancouver would be the best idea.
I mean, I don't mind. I don't have to go anywhere then.
I have to figure out an excuse to go to Vancouver and time to go to Vancouver, but
unless we all want to
go on a trip with Liv. There you go.
That could work.
Hey, Liv, let's go on this.
Don't even tell the reason why. Liv actually planned out a fun little vacation for us.
Hey, yeah, let's go on vacation. It's gonna be romantic. There's some nice spots in Burnaby. We can go to Gastown. but like secretly.
Or we all just meet up in LA
You're
when
meeting up with
Ponch
the
is
boys.
when Ponch is transferring there, or not transferring, but like when he's there for his flight, we all just go to LA.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Should
That'd
we
be
record
cool
in
too,
LA?
man.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of down with
Yeah,
that.
California road trip.
Oh yeah, yo, we watch a Kings game. If we get lucky, maybe
Kings game,
Snoop Dogg will
yeah.
be there.
Yeah,
Maybe
and
a
then
celebrity.
they'll probably ask us to like commentate like how they did for Snoop Dogg, or like
Mhm.
interview the players since they like know the fan connection. They're like, oh yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Kopitar, we need you for a minute, and then he'll just come on. He'll be like, we won't even ask him. He'll be like, can I be on the show? I'm like, yeah, that's all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
I'll see if he can squeeze you in. But yeah,
they'd pay
Well,
us
that'd
to
be
be
cool,
there.
though.
Clearly.
it would.
Well, it'd be really cool because if we did go to California, there's 3 teams. There's your San Jose Sharks, the
Mhm.
Ducks, and the Kings.
Not too far
We
down the
could
road
do,
is the
like-
Vegas Golden Knights, Nevada. We can go to
That's
we
true.
can go to Vegas.
That's true.
That's
I do
true.
want to go to Vegas
Wow,
anyway.
franchise.
I can probably bring some I can plan to with some of my buddies, and you guys can bring some of your buddies
Yeah.
too. We can have like a pretty cool meetup. That'd be kind of fun.
That would be
That'd be
cool.
cool.
Just fun ideas
And
here.
Disneyland. Big Disneyland guy.
Ooh, I'm
Oh yeah,
down.
I've never been.
Universal
but I'm
Studios too.
I'm
Mhm.
going in December. I've never been before. We're going on a cruise, but we stay there for like 4 days or something like that.
Damn.
And yeah, man. What do you guys think? Is 4 days enough for Universal and Disney?
No.
Yeah.
To get
Yeah,
the full
it's-
full experience, you're gonna yes, but you have to kind of like go like in the morning and then be there the
Yeah.
whole day. Like, you have to go like
What
You're gonna
about-
have to, yeah.
You
You're
can
gonna
really
have to
What about
plan
just
it.
for
walk
Universal?
yeah, that
just
should be
like
fine then.
Yeah.
like how long do you think that will take? Just to see Universal, just so I can
Maybe
kind
two-
of gauge.
Maybe 2 days each. You could do 2 days each and just really have like a full
Mm.
day there. If you just do
Yeah.
full days,
Yeah,
it's doable.
yeah,
Yeah.
fair
Well,
enough.
because okay, so there's 2 parks at Disneyland. There's California Adventure and there's Disneyland.
Yeah.
So what somebody said to me was you could buy the 2-day park hopper where you spend the day at one, and which lets you get into both, but you do 1 day at each park.
Mhm.
Some like it also depends on you. If you walk
Yeah.
into like California Adventure and you're like, nah, this is kind of whack, like also fair. Just go back
Yeah,
to Disneyland.
I just care about seeing like a lot of the movie stuff. Like to be honest, I do like rides, but I actually don't. I wouldn't care too much. I would rather just see like the other stuff there. Like I want to see like the Harry Potter thing they have, right? For sure.
Yeah.
And yeah. Anyway, I don't know. It should be fun. Fun trips all around. Fan connection trip.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. And to talk about Arizona to Houston or Quebec, probably pick Houston. As we're getting
Houston
back.
makes sense.
Yeah, Houston. I actually think I honestly always thought that Quebec would probably have like a fan base for it, but the more I'm hearing, it's just like they actually don't have that big. Mike, you're also muted, by the way. I think if you're talking.
I think he's talking to somebody else.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, I mean that makes sense. I don't feel bad for talking over him then.
Okay.
No, quick little segue as we're on the Disney topic here.
So let's keep going.
Are you on the? Have you caught up on Moon Knight? Are you on episode 4?
Is 4 out already?
Well,
Episode
4
4 is out?
tomorrow.
Okay,
Tomorrow,
sorry guys.
tomorrow.
Liv called me. Like speaking of planning a trip, guys, it worked out so well. I have to plant
Oh,
the
yeah?
seed of the ideas.
Oh.
That could be taken weirdly out of context there, but
Somebody clip that. Somebody make it weird.
no, please don't. I'm already sweating as it is. Holy shit. All right. So I think it's a good idea to transition from this into
No.
a different topic.
Wait, before you do that, are you
Yeah.
caught up on Moon Knight? Everyone's caught up?
Yes.
I
Great
think we're all
show.
caught up.
All right, great. Okay, amazing.
It's a great
Yeah,
show.
go ahead, transition
I'm
now.
fun. Come up the phone with Liv, just planting the seed. Oh god, that's brutal. So okay, let's move on to the next topic before this gets way too out of hand and my face gets way too red. Okay, Vancouver Canucks. I've seen into the future. Round 1, I believe. They are 1 point back. I have the standings actually in front of me here. Let me pull them up quickly. They are 1 point back of the Vegas Golden Knights with the game in hand. Okay? Same amount of games as Dallas, only 5 points back. They just beat Dallas. Nashville just came off a devastating loss to St. Louis. Spirits crushed. They're also at 91 points in 76 games. Identical record to Dallas. Dallas only has 29 regulation wins. What are you doing? Most of their wins at this point are basically overtime and shootout fake wins. Okay? fake news. They don't actually have 43 wins. They have 29. Okay. So
Yeah.
I think their luck's bound to run out.
Dallas.
Dallas, yes.
I think so.
I
Well, I
think
mean,
Dallas is gonna get. Hear me out.
mhm,
I think
mhm.
Dallas is gonna get to about 97 points. I think they get 6 more points in their next 6 games.
Mhm.
Okay. Vancouver, I think, can get to 97 points. I think they can get 11 points in their next. Oh my god, how many games do they have left? I can't do math.
I think there's
8?
7,
8 games?
6.
Yeah.
6 games.
I think everyone has 6 games. I'm pretty sure.
So I think
LA has
Vancouver has the potential here to go 7-1, or 7-0-1, 7-0-1, or 6-0-2. I think they can do it, and that would put them in a really, really good position here. I think Vancouver could do it. It's a very slim margin with only 6 games left. Not gonna lie to you.
Mhm.
Not gonna lie to you. But I think they can do it. I think they will pass Vegas. I don't think Vegas is gonna make it.
No.
But I feel like
think-
Dallas is gonna slip. I think they're gonna trip. I think they're gonna to mess up.
Well,
I think
okay.
respectfully. Oh, sorry, Berta. Go for
No,
it.
go ahead.
I think Vancouver can go 4-2. If I'm looking at the
Did I say
Dallas
7-0-1 in their next 6? Am I dumb?
I was trying to stop you there, but yeah.
I meant 5-0-1 or like 4-0-2. I meant
Yeah.
that. My bad.
I think.
Oh my god, I'm dumb. Oh,
Here.
well. I'm tired.
I
Sorry,
think.
Punch, go
But
ahead.
I think. I think they both go 4-2. I think it'll be really close because. Vancouver has Ottawa. That's should be a given. Minnesota. Definitely could go either way. Now it's the Flames. It's the Flames for me. Flames and Kings, because both of them are still very good teams. Sometimes Calgary,
Let's
the
be honest.
Kings are not
Go on,
as
go on.
good without
Yeah.
Doughty.
Yeah. You're right.
But I think that's one of the games that something happens and then you just lose it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and maybe it's not Dallas they pass. Maybe it's LA. Because LA's only at 90 points, and they've played one extra game, right?
Yeah.
LA's
So,
played 77 games. So
I'll tell you exactly how I see it. So yeah, everything you guys said is obviously correct, but for the first time, the reason why yesterday was so important that they won is literally for the first time, and I don't know how long, it's actually in our own hands now, right? So if let's just play this out. So I think the most likely thing that's gonna happen is LA drops out.
Yep. Okay.
And I don't know if you remember this, but I actually said it as our final predictions or whatever. I said LA was second by a lot in the Pacific, and I said they're gonna drop, and I said that the Canucks would sneak in, and I think I said Vegas would sneak into the wild card spot, but
Yeah.
I'll go back and look. But what I think is gonna happen, the most likely thing is that LA pops out, and so the Canucks, right? They have 6 games left. The most points we can get is 98. That's if we win out. I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but this is what the most points everyone can get. So 98 for the Canucks, and LA is 100 points if they win out. Vegas is 97. So Canucks are second in that thing right there. But here's the thing: so the Canucks and LA play each other. So
Yeah,
if
it's
the
a
Canucks
4-point
do
game
win
right there.
out, if they do win out and they get 98 points and LA wins the rest of their games, they'd be tied at 98. But the Canucks have the tiebreaker, and regulation wins most likely, especially if they beat them in regulation. So that would push them over. That would push them over, right? I'm not too worried about Vegas, but the team to look
I
out
think
for.
it's Dallas.
I don't
Yeah.
even think it's Dallas, man. Because, dude, Nashville plays Calgary, Tampa, Minnesota, Calgary again, and Colorado in the next 6 games.
Oh my god, that's potential for
Yeah,
0-6
that's a killer.
right there.
So if Nashville or Dallas they win 3 games, then the Canucks have to win all 6, right? That's just for wild card.
Yeah.
But I actually see Nashville going winning 2 of these games of their next 6. That's it's pretty fair to say that they can probably win. I don't know, man. Every game is going to be really hard, right? So
Yeah.
I'm giving them 2 wins. If they win 2 and the Canucks win 4, then they take Nashville's spot. And that's not even looking at LA. LA could also just slip out as well. So I really think that it's finally coming through, man. And I find it so funny that Dallas and LA are the only teams in the playoffs with negative goal differential. I hate it. And
Yeah.
Vegas and the Canucks are the only good team, or the only teams with positive that are not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's just annoying, but
it's because
anyway.
Dallas was so like mediocre for so long, and they just decided to win a bunch of games, and now they're mediocre again. It's like
God,
they
were so bad yesterday, man.
Like, I don't want to watch Dallas in the playoffs, dude. I can't watch that team.
Good.
I can't.
They're gonna be a first round exit, dude. Like I don't know, man. Like Sagan is not what he was. I mean, he's like just too injured, and obviously Robertson is good, and Rupe Hintz was like he's really fast, but the rest of the team is like
so fast.
I don't know.
Nice.
He is fast, man. Like he was like the reason why like he scored his goals was just his speed, but I don't know, man.
One thing I do want to say, look out for St. Louis and look out for Edmonton right now going into the playoffs.
Edmonton's on
look
fire
out
right
for them.
now.
Yeah, Edmonton's 8-1-1 in their last 10, and St. Louis is 9-0-1 in their last 10. The only other teams in the league better in their last 10 or equal in their last 10 is Toronto, who's 8-1-1, and Florida, who's 10-0, and Colorado, who's 9-1. So like obviously Florida and Colorado, you expect that. Toronto too. But like everyone, like no one's really talking about St. Louis, but they're really good differential. Like their differential's really good. They're 9-0-1 in their last 10. Edmonton's really turned it around. Like they went from being nearly a negative differential to a plus 29 in like a 3-week span. Like 3 weeks ago, we were talking about how Edmonton's not going to make the playoffs, and now they're at 94 points, 4 ahead of the Kings, basically safe at this point, unless they lose every game, right?
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest, probably won't happen. They have 6 games left. Edmonton plays against, just to give you an idea who they play against in their next 6 games. It's really not that bad.
I got for you. It's Dallas, Colorado, Columbus, Pittsburgh, San Jose Canucks.
So like they got two bad, like Columbus and San Jose. Let's be honest, like they're not great. Colorado's obviously going to be that's probably going to be a loss, but like they'll probably beat Dallas, right? Which will be good for Vancouver. They'll probably beat Dallas. Pittsburgh could be either way, and then hopefully Vancouver beats them. But once again, you never know. Edmonton's coming off a back-to-back going into Vancouver, so they'll probably lose that. But that's like an easy 3-3, you know? So like, Edmonton's really not in a situation where they have to worry too much. Just got to play their game. I wouldn't be too worried if I'm an Edmonton fan right now. Dallas has to play Edmonton.
Shutouts? Sorry.
Edmonton has...
Mike Smith had back-to-back shutouts?
Right? I know.
Yeah. He's playing much better.
It's gonna come down to that, man. I already know. Like I know he's playing hot right now, but it's gonna just come down to the goaltending. Like if they fail in the playoffs, it's over for them.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. Like honestly, if they lose this year in the playoffs, there's changes coming to Edmonton for sure.
Yeah.
At least I hope. Ken Holland's pretty boring, so you never know. But hopefully for their sake, as like the fan base's sake, like they'll make a splash for a goalie. I know Fleury wants to play one more year. He's probably not. Maybe he won't stay in Minnesota, so maybe they'll sign him. I don't think he'll want to come here, but you never know. But Dallas has to play Edmonton, so they'll probably lose that game. Let's be honest. And then the next day they play Calgary, so a back-to-back Edmonton-Calgary. Then they go play Seattle. That should be an easy win for Dallas. But Seattle's been tough to play lately. Then they play Vegas. Yeah. Vegas is going to be scary for them. Eichel's back. Petrangelo's playing. Stone's back. So Vegas is getting healthy now, so they're going to be scary for Dallas. Arizona on the back-to-back after Vegas. You never know. Maybe Arizona, depending which Arizona you get, probably going to be a loss. As of right now, it's probably going to be a win for Dallas. But if the other Arizona shows up, maybe they'll win. And then Anaheim. So Arizona, Anaheim, Seattle. Those are almost three guaranteed wins for Dallas, unless they play like they did in Vancouver last night. They looked really bad. What do you guys think of Dallas right now?
I think Dallas will stay in. I think that they're not good. I don't think they're a playoff team, but it's just I think they'll get in just because of how you laid out their schedule. Like you're right. I think if they win 3 games, they'll probably make the playoffs. So if they win less, then I mean, then it's up in the air. But 3, I think they should be fine, and I think they can do it based on their schedule. But Nashville will be the one for me to look out for. And honestly, if anything, I think it'll be Nashville and LA. Just for the sake of like LA, they have no gap between Vancouver or Vegas. And I don't think Vegas is playing that good either. Like I know you said they got healthy and all that, but my God, they lost the they lost the Devils. They dropped 5 of 6 points to the Canucks. They
Yep.
they're struggling right now, and I think like that being said, they can get in. I think there is 2 spots for grabs, and I just think that Dallas is the most safe, just based on they're 5 points ahead technically, and they just got to win 3 games probably. I think that should do it for them, and yeah, that's what I think is gonna happen.
And would you rather Vancouver have a higher pick or a first round
Mhm.
exit to Colorado?
Well, if they play or pass LA, they'd play Edmonton.
Which
So
is,
I would,
I think, a very fairly reasonable win there.
yeah, I think they could probably take Edmonton, to be honest. So against Colorado, we actually matched up with them pretty decently this year. But like, yeah, obviously in a 7-game series, you probably take Colorado.
Yeah,
But
and they're nine
I
and
want
one
to see,
without.
yeah,
They're 9-1
yeah,
without Landeskog.
yeah, exactly. So I'd
Like,
probably I'd probably take the playoff thing just to see like,
Ooh.
anything can happen type of thing. Because in this draft year, everything I've heard is like not good in terms
yeah,
of like
same.
historically not good, right? So it's like, you know what? If any pick we're gonna get is not gonna fluctuate that much anyway, we're not gonna get the top. We're not gonna get a top 10 pick at the end of the day.
But
It's gonna be
remember, they
middle.
said Galchenyuk's draft was going to be really good,
Yeah, I
Was
So
mean,
they're-
really
yeah,
good.
and then
but
they said the Barzal draft was going to be a bit weaker outside of McDavid, didn't they?
true. But like this one is
So,
like I'm hearing is like historically bad. So
yeah,
like what I would do is like if I'm the Canucks, like this might be a hot take, but I'd probably try and trade this first for next year's first, just to any team that would like try and get a first for next year. Like even if you want to give JT Miller in the offseason for like something like, because I know next year's draft is like generational apparently. Like
yeah,
everybody's
really
really
good.
good.
Michkov,
Yeah,
Bedard. There's another guy from the U.S. who's killing it too. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I would do. So I don't really care about this draft that much. So I would probably take the playoffs, even if it is a first round
Mhm.
exit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you never know because like there are bad drafts, but
Mhm.
then like I'm sorry, I've just pulled up the what's it called? Galchenyuk's draft, so 2012. But even though like his draft wasn't like there wasn't a ton of all stars, you still got Forsberg, Gergensons, Tom Wilson, Tomas Hertl, and you got
Yeah.
Vasilevsky. So you still
There's
there's
some
gonna
good
be
players.
talent.
Yeah,
There's always talent in every draft.
of course.
So
Oh yeah, almost
just
every draft.
because
Yeah.
It's just
So
it's just the percentage, like the likelihood of that happening.
Mhm.
That's all. That's the way you guys know I'm like I mean I have a degree in business now, so I'm like a very analytic, business oriented guy, right? So it's like that's just how I see it. But you are
Mhm.
right, of course. There's always going to be some players like that, and it doesn't have to necessarily be in the first round either, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to move on to non-playoff teams now? You guys down
Yes.
to,
Sure.
move on? Like we can look at basically the bottom of the NHL standings and say, okay, what do these teams need to do going into next season? We'll start with Arizona. What does Arizona need to do in their offseason to come back?
Move to Houston.
Yeah, sure. That's one take, but assuming they're going to stay because they have literally not left yet, so they're not going to leave. But what do you guys think they need to do to keep trending in the right direction? They have a lot of draft picks. I'll give you guys the exact totals on that in a second here.
I think they have 14 this year, to be honest. Like
They have a lot.
yeah, or just in general, they have
Unreal.
so many first round picks in the next 3 years. I think they just gotta just keep doing what they're doing, man. Take on these contracts as long as it's not too long,
Mm-hmm.
right? Within like,
Yeah.
if you can take a contract on that's bad for like 1 or 2 years. I think me and Ponch were talking about it, a couple of days ago about Monahan. Like if he wants, I mean, I know he's a no trade clause, but that's like the type of deal you look for, right? There's
Yeah.
1 year left. It's like 6-something million. They're scratching him. If you can take him and get an asset for it, that's what you gotta do, man. Like you're not competing next year, so I mean,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna get Bedard, and you just built through that. So I think they've done under the circumstances like okay, I guess. Like I don't like them as an organization after some stupid things they did, but I mean, for the future, that looks like they're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Well, Arizona needs to do a lot of things right. Like
Yeah.
draft right. They
Mhm.
need to get fans in. They need to. Anyways, let's not sandbag their whole.
No, we
whole
want to be a bit
organization.
optimistic here. We want to talk optimistically about the Arizona Coyotes.
Sorry, jokes. Well, they're doing all right because in 2022 they have 3 first rounders. In the second round, they have 4 picks. and then they've won throughout the rest of the year. So
Yep.
that's really good. And if you look at the rest of their roster, they're built to dump all these dumb contracts. So Louis Eriksson is going to be gone.
Jay Beagle's gone.
Jay Beagle's
well.
gone. Kessel's gone, and I love Kessel, but like
6.8 million. Yeah, same. I agree with you on that.
And in 2 years, in one more year, Andrew Ladd's gone. So you've gotten like 20 mil off the book. So you're gonna re-sign Fisher because I think he's a solid player, and you might be able to just sign him on a league minimum.
And him and Krause are RFAs.
Yeah, Krause you can sign for sure. Even Galchenyuk, I don't mind him. I'd sign him just to secure the bottom four or the bottom six.
Yep.
But then you're gonna have your rookies come in, so
well, they're already playing Nathan Smith, Jack McBain, Matthias Michelli. They just sent them down today, but they're gonna play him next year. You know, they're gonna have a lot of young, like mid-20s kids coming in, or not kids, but like guys coming in from NCAA contracts who burned their first year this year that will be expiring next year. So they're all going to be trying to prove themselves. Barrett Hayden's going to get his first bridge deal at 21 as one of the youngest players. I mean, they could re-sign I wouldn't bring back Galchenyuk though. They'll still have Travis Boyd.
It's also not the worst. It's not the worst thing in the world.
They extended Travis Boyd to a really good contract, 1.75 for the next 2 years. It expires when he's 30. So either next year or the year after, any team looking for a cost-effective guy for the third, fourth line, Travis Boyd would be available for very cheap, less than $2 million a season. So I guess I'm getting like a second or third round pick for him down the line. So like that's them lining up a future pick right there. Nick Schmaltz is locked up for the next 4 years after this. Clayton Keller's locked up even longer than that for a reasonable 7.15 for a point per game player. Everyone was saying that's a bad contract, but it's looking really good now. He's 23. He's entering his prime soon, making 7.1 million for a point per game player. That's not too bad, right? Nick Schmaltz is looking like a steal as well.
Yeah, and they also have Dylan Guenther, who's playing in the WHL right now, and he has 91 points in 59 games. So
he'll probably make the jump next year, I hope.
Yeah. Well, you also have Sam Lakins for the Chicago Steel at 66 points for 57 points or 57 games, and then Matthias Maselli, 55 points in 42 games. So you do have these younger players coming up. If I were the GM of the Arizona Coyotes, I'd probably sign, like, I'd try to re-sign Kessel to like a cheaper contract. See if you can have him. I could see it going either way. You could let him ask him to help develop the younger guys.
Okay.
Because Phil Kessel, he's transitioned more into that, into the playmaker, kind of like Joe Thornton.
Yep.
And he still has a great shot on him. And Kessel has rings already. He's not Patrick Marleau. He's not Joe Thornton, who's looking for rings. Kessel has rings. So if Kessel's content with being in Arizona and gonna be in that leadership role, like, and he doesn't want to sign like the really steep contract, I could see why you could I could see him developing, asking him to help develop the younger guys.
Yeah, that's fair too. I'm trying to find their buried cap hit just to know how much money they're actually spending on dead. Yeah. So dead cap, they have 2.7 million essentially. Buyout, they have 1.25 million. So that's right there, like almost 4 million. And then on the injured reserve, they have 13 million
for this year.
Yeah.
And then it'll drop to 6 million. 6.
Yeah, they have Brian Little on there next year. They have Connor Timmins may or may not play. He's been injured for a long time now, I'm pretty sure. So there's a few guys there, but like they're looking good. Like they're probably not going to be able to re-sign Nick Ritchie. I think Oh no, they don't need to. Actually, he's locked up next year. So they have Nick Ritchie coming in next year, unless they trade him for like maybe a 3rd-round pick since he's kind of playing well now. Maybe a team will take a chance on him. But they'll have Clayton Keller, they'll have Nick Ritchie, maybe Nick Schmaltz. They'll have Krause, Christian Fisher, Bear Hayden, Jack McBain, Nathan Smith, Michelli. We said Genther. On defense, they'll probably lose Anton Strawman. They don't need to keep him unless he wants to stay. He's making $5.5 million this year. He's 35. Maybe he resigns for $3 million, $2.5 million. Who knows? Which is not a big deal. They have Chikrin next year, Gossesbear, Moser. They have some young guys. Dyson Mayo made a jump this year, which was nice. He got his extension, 3-year extension for $950K per year. Veg Melka's still here. He's locked up for under $3 million for the next 3 years. 25-year-old goalie. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's honestly like you could be in worse situations.
Yeah, like they're looking good for the future. They have 3 firsts this year. We already said that, but then 4 seconds. Next year they only have 1 first, 1 second. But then in 2024 they're already lined up. They have 3 second-round picks already, 2 thirds, 2 fourths. And they're already starting to build up future draft picks that if they somehow get competitive within the next 2 years, they can use those as leverage to trade for young players to bring in.
Yeah.
So they don't have to use those draft picks to draft. They could use that as leverage to make good trades. So you never know. They'll have a ton of cap space next year, so I'm sure there's going to be teams calling to dump a contract, maybe Shea Weber's. Who knows? So they can easily get more picks too. You guys want to move on to a different team?
Yeah, sure.
All right, this one coming in next year is going to be, or coming in here, is going to be a good one for me to talk about. Because it is the Montreal Canadiens. They are second to last in the NHL, 30th in the league, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, 31st, my bad. Because I forgot there's 32 teams now. So looking at Montreal's upcoming draft, they have 2 firsts, 1 from Calgary, 1 from themselves, 2 seconds, 1 from Edmonton, 3 thirds, 3 fourths, a fifth, a sixth, 2 sevenths. Next year they have 2 firsts, 2 fifths. The year after they have Colorado's second, but not their own. So yeah, they don't have a ton of draft picks next year, the year after, but at least the 2 firsts this year and next year looks pretty good. Looking ahead at their contracts, though, it's not the same as Arizona. So Arizona's a complete open book, right? Arizona can do whatever they want basically next year because there's so many cap hits coming off their team, off their books. Montreal is not that similar. It's not even close to being similar. Montreal has Gallagher locked up for $6.5 million per season for 5 more years after this one. Same thing with Josh Anderson at $5.5 million per season for the next 5 years after this one. Although he's only 27, so it's not that big of a deal, but Gallagher's 29. So $6.5 million for the next 5 years for Gallagher. Hoffman, $4.5 million per year for the next 2 years. Dvorak, $4.45 for the next 3 years. Joel Armia, $3.4 for the next 3. Paul Byron, $3.4 next year. Nick Suzuki's obviously locked up long term, but that's not a big deal. Jake Evans, also not a big deal. His contract's pretty cheap and worth it. So, but those 5 guys I listed were all above 26, on the wrong side of their 20s. Other than Dvorak, he's only 26. That's not a big deal. But Armia at 28, Hoffman at 32, Josh Anderson's not bad, but Gallagher at 29. Those are 3 almost unmovable contracts. And that's a big portion of their salary cap. Jeff Petrie, 6.25 per season for the next 3 years. David Savard, 3.5 per season for the next 3 years. Joel Edmondson's on a bad contract, so he's fine. But those are 2 defensemen right there with big cap hits. Carey Price, next 4 years at $10.5 million. Jake Allen's not a big deal, under 3 next year, and that's it. And then Shea Weber's contract, 7.8 for the next 4 years. But, I mean, that's going to be LTIR. And then Jonathan Drouin, $5.5 million next year. So those are a bunch of cap hits, huge cap hits, that are not coming off the books.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only one that's like, the one that I'm just like, okay, whatever about is like the Gallagher one. Because I think he actually will be, I mean, I know he's not playing good right now, but I also remember looking at his shooting percentage, I think, pretty recently on one of our podcasts.
Very
and
low.
It's really, really low. So I he's more likely to bounce back, and he's been good for longer out of all those guys, I think. And he also like loves Montreal, and I know he'd like love to help develop whatever players come in and stuff, and he'd be a good mentor, right? So that one is, I think, fine. The rest of them is kind of tough, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
And it's
I agree.
like
So
I see it a lot, like the Vancouver situation of a couple years ago, where like we did have some young players. Like I'm not like comparing skill or anything like that, but like I know you guys have Suzuki, Caulfield, right? And let's just
Mhm.
say like Besser, Patterson, or like in their first couple of years.
Pretty similar.
Yeah, and so like I mean, you have these other players like you had like Beagle, Roussel, Erickson, all these guys eating up a lot of caps, so you can't really build around them too much. But that being said, I think like once those contracts are off the books, you probably have those stars like Suzuki, Caulfield, whoever else you have coming up. They'll be more ready to take a step and more ready to be competitive. So it does suck in the short term of things, but maybe in like what's the longest contract? Is it the Gallagher one?
yeah, he's
Yeah, it's tied with like there's a few
say-
contracts that length, like all 5 years.
Yeah,
Like
all 5 years.
Anderson,
Oh,
not all of them,
yeah,
but like
yeah.
Okay.
Gallagher and Anderson are both 5 years.
Yeah.
Weber's 4, Peters 3, Price is 4,
Hoffman.
Armia's 3, Hoffman's 2.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so I think in about 3 years' time, like let's just say 3 years' time, Suzuki's now emerged as like a full NHL star. Caulfield as well, like one of the better scorers in the league, right? I mean, by then you'll have like what is it, like 2 years left, or you have 1 year left of whatever contract, and you can probably by then like try and move some of it. Like you might have to bite the bullet by then, but
Yeah.
you hope that you guys draft well enough that it's like you guys' core is okay by then. Like it's actually pretty good. At least your prospect core is good by then. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we're losing this next year's first or this next year's second, but we got rid of these contracts. We can now build around Caulfield, Suzuki, whoever else is coming up, and that's the hope, right? So I think like it's gonna suck in the next coming years in terms of building your team. That's not prospect related. I mean, like bringing in some like free agents that are really good or whatever, but like you probably won't be able to do that. But I think in the future, like once it's like I would say 2-3 years from now, you can probably move some of these guys and move some of these contracts easily and or not easily, but much easier and build a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine
Well-
anyway. You're not looking to compete right now, right? Anyway.
Yeah, and they do have Justin Barron on these ELC. They have Alex Romanov, who's expiring this year. They need to re-sign him, but he's an RFA. Jordan Harris on his ELC, who expires next year, but they can re-sign him. He's an RFA. Kale Clegg, if they want to bring him back, he's an RFA, only 23. Why not just qualify and bring him back? Schooneman as well. They can let go of Weidman. I don't really see them bringing him back. William Lagesson, they'll let go of him. He looked awful in his debut with us. He looked really out of place, like really nervous. Montembeau's expiring, but he's an RFA making league min, so you can do whatever you want with him, pretty much. So like we're looking okay. Duran will be back from injury, I'm sure, at some point, so not a big deal there. We'll see how it works out. I think we'll see David Savard. They'll attempt to move him this year. I don't see it happening. I definitely see Jeff Petrie being gone this offseason. I think they should trade him, and I think they will.
He's a no movement clause.
Yeah, but he'll waive that. He doesn't care because I think he wants to just.
Okay, cool.
I think he wants to leave because of all the restrictions that are here, and he wants to be with his family. He hasn't been with his family all season. Like they've been living. His wife and his kids have all been living in Detroit, and he's been away in Montreal all season long with the team. So he hasn't seen his kids, his wife. Like it's been really hard. He's been miserable all year. So I think he'll be happy to be. I think he'll be happy to leave if he's given the option. Mike Hoffman. There has to be a team stupid enough to take that contract. There has to be. I guarantee there's going to be a team that remembers Mike Hoffman and some old GM. Some old GM that's like, oh my God, Mike Hoffman at a point per game. Oh my God. And then they get him. So he's 32, so it's reasonable. I do not want Mike Hoffman on my team. I don't. I watch the way he plays. He's just a turnover machine, man. They try to have him power play a quarterback. Quarterback a power play. There we go. And like every time he does it, it just looks like he makes like the most like anything you would think a reasonable decision would be. He does the opposite. Like every now and then he surprises me, and he's skilled. Like you can tell he has the skill. And Marte St. Louis says he's really smart, but every time I watch him play, it's like his brain turns off. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I think the thing you need to be we need to be patient here because Cole Caulfield was having a rough season before St. Louis took over.
Yep.
And I'm guessing that was the same vibe throughout the team. And you just got Carey Price back. So if you're the team, so this happened with Calgary last year where Jeff Ward got fired and then Daryl Sutter came in, and you didn't see the immediate change because they still needed to adapt to the system. What shout out to all the Montreal fans, say Lebu. I think you just need to be patient now because your team hasn't completely absorbed St. Louis system yet. So hopefully as soon as that happens, you're gonna see Gallagher and Anderson start taking steps and hopefully progressing to what they were. And then
I'm okay with Anderson's season so far.
And then all honesty, Hoffman has been mediocre, but still 11 goals, 18 assists, and 29 points in 61 games. That's not awful. I've seen worse for less.
Yeah, Anderson has 18 goals, 10 assists, 28 points in 63 games for a minus 27. Which is not great either, but I mean, plus minus on our team is terrible anyway, so.
Yeah. So, and then with the next couple years, your cap's going to go up. I always say this, the cap will go up because we're starting to climb out of the COVID year.
Yeah.
And people are we're allowed to be in stadiums regularly now. Owners are able to make their money. Players are going to be off escrow pretty soon. But that means the cap goes up, which means Brendan Gallagher's deal, if he starts playing well, it's going to look like a steal. That's kind of what happened with the Tyler Toffoli thing. Granted, though, Tyler Toffoli...
It was a steal the second it was signed, though. That's the thing with Toffoli. Everyone saw that contract and said, what? That's what they got him for? And then that's why Calgary wanted it, right? Because it's such a steal of a contract. They didn't care that he has 2 years left or 1 year left after this, you know?
But exactly in that same way, when the cap goes up, the contract's going to look really good. So if, say, Brendan Gallagher, I know he loves the Canadiens right now. Bad example. Say Mike Hoffman has a good year.
Yep.
And the cap goes up. That 4.5 deal is going to look more like a 3.5 or within that area.
I still trade him.
And then exactly. Well, that's why. If we're patient now and we wait, we don't want to get rid of Hoffman now, or maybe even Dvorak if Dvorak starts declining. If we wait a couple years or a year and the cap goes up, those 4.5 or those 5 point whatever contracts become 4.5 mil or 3.5 mil. So instead of, you might get more value later on because you tell a team, hey, I've got Mike Hoffman. He's not quite the fit in my locker room, blah, blah, blah. He's bullying my defenseman. That's why we couldn't have both in San Jose. But you go, that happens, right? And you go, oh, this GM goes, okay, what's he got? Oh, he's got 31 points in 60-ish games. Oh, but he's making 3.5. Or he's essentially making a 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll throw you a fourth. Shout out Mike Hoffman, Sharks legend.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely possible. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I like where they're at right now. I know their contracts don't look great, but I'm sure Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon will figure it out. They're pretty smart guys. Do you guys want to move on to another subject? I see Nick. What's going on, Nick? Welcome to the podcast. I see Nick talking about Connor Bedard. Do you guys want to talk about Connor Bedard for a bit? Just kind of I know we mentioned him earlier, but we can kind of just talk about him on his own as one of like the last subjects of today's stream. Connor Bedard, having a great year, 51 goals, 100 points at the age of 16. He passed McDavid's totals or matched them, I think. I think he passed them though, or he will. But he has more goals than McDavid did. McDavid had around 20 or 30 goals at that age, whereas Bedard has 51. Right? That's a significant difference. And you have to remember as well, there is a difference between the OHL, WHL, and QMJHL. They all play differently. As far as I understand, the QMJHL is seen as like a lesser than the OHL and the WHL nowadays. Like I don't see people talking about it as much as the other two leagues. Maybe just the media coverage, and maybe it's because there's a lot of French media covering the QMJHL, and I know I'm francophone. I'm from Montreal, but I'm not francophone. Like I speak French and I'm from Montreal, but I'm more of an anglophone, right? Like I speak English at home, and all the media coverage that I look at Sportsnet, like everything I really follow is mostly English, right? So I don't really see a lot of the French media, but from what I can tell, the hockey world usually brings up the OHL the most, then the W, and then the Q, right?
Right.
So what do you guys think of Connor Bedard's season and the difference between the leagues? Like, does that factor in for when you're considering like comparing Bedard to McDavid?
The leagues does play a factor a little bit, I would say, but at the end of the day, he is 16 years old, right? Like, okay, so you gotta see what you want to weigh more, right? Are you gonna weigh the league over the player who is doing exceptional, or are you gonna say, okay, this guy is 16 years old and he's doing this, which is absolutely insane? Like, it just depends how you view it, right? Like, personally, I'm gonna take Bedard's standpoint, right? Like, I'll keep in mind, sure, the league's worse. But I also made this mistake before. I made this mistake is back in like 2017 when Makar was a prospect, and I'm like, dude, this league is not good. I'm like, there's no way he's gonna do this to men, grown men, and he did. So, so I was clearly wrong about that. But yeah, I think that at the end of the day, he's gonna be a franchise player, right? Any way you want to see it, I think that's the way you look at it, right? If you look at him as if it's like, I know everyone's comparing him to McDavid, which is great, right? Because he's beating he beat his record, or he beat his point total and goal total, whatever it is. So that's great. But I think you just need to keep in mind, it looks like he's going to be a franchise player, but just don't go in thinking that he's going to be McDavid, right? If he
I think he's going to be
that,
different than completely different from McDavid. He's more of a sniper than McDavid ever
exactly.
was.
No, but I mean like effectiveness. I would say like McDavid is honestly like we can talk about this another time, but like if you go league MVP, probably based on the best player in the league, you probably just give it to McDavid every year, right? So I don't know if you have the same impact with Bedard because I don't watch him, but I mean like I'm just going off like what stats I see. But just know that he's gonna be a really good player. Like it's very extremely like 1% likelihood of him being a bust, right?
Yeah.
And him being like so like that's the way I look at it.
And one thing to consider as well, the WHL is widely considered much more defensive than the OHL. Like the WHL is considered to have a much better defensive structured league, harder to play in terms of for offensive players because there's like it's just like a harder league in the sense like the defensive game is more prevalent. You know what I'm saying? Though. It's like it's more of a defensive type of style of game, right? Whereas the OHL is more offensive than the WHL, and then the QMJHL is kind of known for like you'll get like a few superstars from it, but like it's mostly the WHL and the OHL that are better known leagues than the Q, right?
Yeah.
At least around Canada. And in Quebec, obviously the QMJHL is huge, but around Canada, it's mostly the OHL and the WHL. So if you consider that, Connor Bedard put up, when he played for the Regina Pats last year, but it wasn't really his first full season. At 15, he put up 12 goals, 16 assists for 28 points in 15 games. He had almost 2 points per game at 15 in his little stint with the Regina Pats last year. And then in the Swedish Junior League, he had 4 points in 4 games, right? So in the WHL, in a more defensive league, he found a way to put up 28 points in 15 games. That's already really impressive, but everyone's probably thinking, Mike, that's a really short span. he needs to play a long period of time for you to even make any comparisons to McDavid. I'm like, okay, cool. So this year, he comes into a more defensive league and puts up nearly a goal per game. He had 51 goals in 62 games at the age of 16. So he's playing against 18, 17, 19, and 20-year-olds, right? As a 16-year-old, putting up 51 goals in 62 games for 100 points. The only flaw is his plus minus is 0.
Interesting.
You look at Connor McDavid playing for the Erie Otters in the OHL, more offensive league. He played with Dylan Strome. He played with another guy too who was pretty good. He had 25 goals in 63 games, 41 assists, 66 points. McDavid was a minus 24.
No. What the heck?
So, yeah. So, Connor Bedard put up way more points than McDavid did, despite McDavid playing a more offensive league, right? He put up way more goals than McDavid did. He had more assists too, actually, than McDavid did in the OHL, according to the stats from the NHL website. So, dude, Connor Bedard, maybe he won't have the same type of game as McDavid. Dude, he found a way to score 51 goals, nearly a goal per game, in one of the more defensive-minded leagues at his level, against players 1 to 4 years older than him. And at that age, that's a huge difference.
Yeah. Franchise player, guaranteed. That's
and he's going to play
He's
in a freaking university arena next year.
well, isn't university better though? Like for like development.
The NCAA is seen as being better for developing all-around players. Yeah, but I mean, like he's going to play in like Arizona University arena because of
like he's going to play
the
in
Coyotes.
It's like playing hockey at UVic.
Oh yeah, all right.
In front of like 3,000 fans at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited because he can't declare for the draft for another 2 years.
That call is telling you guys about. I just got it.
All right.
Back up for a minute here.
No worries.
But he can't play for another 2 years, so it's all good. I reckon we just keep an eye on his development. So then, when
he gets drafted next year.
Can he get drafted? Oh, he can get drafted at 17, but he can't play until he's 18, right?
Yeah, but because of his age, because of his birthday, he turns 18 before September. So his draft class is next year.
Oh, true.
Because this year's Shane Wright, next year's Connor Bedard. Is what everyone. That's how I remember it, at least.
I think he'll just stay. He'll stay in the O
for an extra season after getting drafted.
I think so.
Why? He's the first overall pick.
Because
he's gonna come to the NHL. Dude. He's already put up 100 points.
If he's going to Arizona's not great right now. If you can develop a little bit longer, and I know he's already doing so well. It'd essentially be like keeping Connor McDavid in the O, but when you're, I just don't see. If I'm Connor Bedard, I don't see why I'd go right away because they're just not. They haven't put themselves together. They don't even play in a proper arena yet. They haven't sorted out their lease.
I disagree with you wholeheartedly right now.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, he's not gonna develop in the WHL after he's drafted. He's already essentially mastered the league. Mm-hmm. He's already at 16, or even you could argue when he was 15, he was almost 2 points per game. He's already mastered the league. Like he already knows what it takes to win in that league. Mm-hmm. He already knows how to put up good numbers, a lot of goals. He'll probably learn next year how to play a more defensive game. Mm-hmm. He'll probably add to his offense. He'll probably put up maybe the same amount of points, probably a few more points next year, but have a better plus minus, I imagine. Mm-hmm. Because he'll play a better all-around game next year. Just because he plays in WHL, his defensive game should develop a bit quicker than McDavid's did. Although McDavid's defensive game is kind of non-existent right now, so hopefully Bedard is better defensively than McDavid is. But, dude, even if he gets drafted by Arizona, he has to come to the NHL, or else he's just delaying $1 million paycheck.
That's true.
Would you take $1 million up front and play in the NHL, or delay $1 million and play in the WHL, where you're not really going to learn much. Maybe you'll put on a bit more size, but you'll probably it'd be worth it to have him play in the NHL because the trainers are better and more focused on him, right?
Or the AHL.
And he's getting paid, and he can use that money. He's not allowed to go to the AHL though.
He's not allowed to go to the AHL.
No, like any CHL players drafted cannot play in the AHL till they're 21. If they can report to an AHL team, a CHL team, unless it's like a conditioning stint, they can't play in the AHL.
It's weird. All right.
So
well, then,
and I think he would save their franchise technically. Is my main point is if they draft him and he comes in the year after his draft, that's a ton of jersey sales, even from non-Arizona fans. There's gonna be fans just buying Connor Bedard jerseys, right? That's a ton of revenue for Arizona that could theoretically save their franchise. So, and put them on the block or put them on the radar for teams, for people around the league, just because they have Bedard, right? There's probably a lot of people who converted to Edmonton as fans because of McDavid. Or as semi-fans, or Edmonton's their second favorite team because of McDavid. I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
So Connor Bedard would be the same thing. So there's no reason to keep him out of the NHL unless you really fear an injury. But even then, I think you just bring him in and trust that he'll be okay because he's been so good at every level. He's ready. You know, he could play now if it wasn't for his age. If he's just more physically developed, he could play now with his skill. But it's important that he develops next year as well. So next year, I'm sure his agent will tell him to focus on putting on size, and I'm sure he will. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think Connor Bedard could be the savior for Arizona if they get him. I hope they don't get him though, because I don't want him to play in a tiny arena. I want him to experience the NHL for what it is. Do you want to quickly talk about before we end the podcast, because this will be our last topic for today? Before I know Bird is still out, but before we end the podcast and before we move on to maybe the predictions for tonight, the matchup predictions for tonight, what if? How's it going, Cheese Whiz? I see you with the Shifley comment. Don't worry, I won't freak out. I got it all out on the Discord. What if we talk about sleeper teams for next year that could win the first overall pick, playoff teams or playoff contending teams this year that we think could contend for the first overall pick next year?
That could contend for the first overall pick.
What would be your pick out of? I mean, the East, there's not really any team that you could pick that you would be like, yeah, they can contend for the first overall pick next year, that are in a playoff spot right now. But in the West, I'm thinking as a sleeper pick, Dallas could be a team that I could see contending for Bedard if certain things go the wrong way. And I could see Nashville. If certain things go the wrong way. If Duchesne takes a step back again, Johansson takes a step back again, I could see them contending for that.
I could see.
Or if Saros and Yossi aren't godlike.
I think it's LA.
Really? Even with Byfield coming up and Darcy getting better?
I feel like they're a good way to. They're gonna keep your franchise like exciting. They're gonna keep going, but if like Kopitar has been consistent, but if Doughty stays injured, Quick gets a little slower, I could see them starting off really hot and then just
plummeting,
hitting a wall at trade deadline. And then I could also see them going, hey, we've got some assets here. Why don't we just... So let me just take a look at the roster right now.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We've already looked at Dallas and Nashville pretty in depth, I think, at one point, so we don't really need to delve into detail. I'm just more saying that those could be two teams that, if I had to pick current playoff teams, or current playoff teams, so above the second wild card and above, those are the teams I picked. LA, I could totally believe as well. There's no team in the East right now because I think they're all pretty solid that are in the wild card. If I had to pick an Eastern team, I'd maybe pick Washington or Pittsburgh.
I think Washington
because of their average ages, like maybe Pittsburgh and Washington. But other than them, I couldn't see any other team falling out.
Well, because the thing with LA is they've got these good players. They just don't have any great players. Like Doughty's going to be injured, and you don't know if they say he's going to be back in September, but is he really gonna? He's going to impact the team, but I don't think he's going to take them above and beyond. Anthony Ciu, I could see them like moving because he's just solid. Same with like Dustin Brown, even though he's been a staple in LA for years. Philippe Deneau, definitely could see him moved. I think they're gonna
Yeah.
keep their core, but I could also see LA going like we don't have anything. We're kind of in the middle. We're
I
not
could see them getting
tanking,
better
we're
next
not.
year.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I could see them
Like
going.
Trevor Moore's taking steps, Quentin Byfield
Mhm.
steps up. I could see Trevor. Yeah, I already said Trevor Moore, Sean Dursey. The only way I
really
see them
like
taking a
Kaliev,
step
too.
back is if, yeah, and Iafallo, they have Iafallo and Kempe improving. I could see them falling off, like you said, if Quick and Doughty drop off, and if Kopitar drops off a
Mhm.
lot too. Although he's already dropped off this year as well.
Mhm.
So like,
But I could,
I see
them
the
getting. I could see them getting injured just because
yeah
they're on the older side.
yeah, and
But
that was my
yeah,
point with Nashville and Dallas too. That they're on the older side
yeah.
as well. Like Nashville's getting younger a bit, but they've been relying on Duchesne, Johansson having breakout, like not really breakout because I mean they've already proven NHLers, but having bounce back seasons. And so like I don't think that's sustainable. I don't. Like Duchesne and Johansson could easily drop off next year.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll see where Nashville ends up. They're an interesting team.
Mhm.
And then let's look at some other teams that are outside the playoffs that we think are going to get worse next year that we think would contend for the first overall pick. One of my immediate picks is easily Philadelphia.
I think Philly.
They are just not looking good, and the players, some of them that they're re-signing, just makes them look even worse for next year. So I'm picking Philly, and I'm picking honestly out of the East, Philly's one of the only teams I can really see bottoming out again next year. I think Buffalo's going to improve. I think Montreal's going to improve next year. Ottawa's going to improve next year. Detroit's going to improve. Columbus going to improve.
Buffalo.
Jersey's going to improve. I think all those teams are going to improve next year. Buffalo's going to improve next year, in my opinion, at least.
I think they're going to get better, but I think they can still. I don't think they're going to be good enough to compete anytime soon. So if they go maybe one more year and they do try for they do tank for Bedard, like I could see them going. That makes sense.
Yeah, like yeah. I could see the East being more like the West next year, where there's more teams that are contending for playoff spots. Because I don't see the gap being this wide again next year. Like the East was so clearly defined so early. I think a lot of the bottom feeding teams are going to take their high end picks this year, some of their prospects that are coming up this year as well, and put out a better team next year. Other than Philly, I see Philly trending downward, which is a good thing for their long term health as a franchise. I think they do need to go through a bit of a rebuild here. Yeah. And they'll come out better for it. So I can see them contending for the first overall pick next year, although they already are this year. And then I could see Seattle again contending for a high-end pick.
Seattle makes sense.
And Chicago. Depending on what they do with Kane and Taves, I could see them contending. Especially if they decide to move those two guys who are expiring next year, at the end of next year. I could see them moving them at the deadline.
Yeah, well, like I know it doesn't look it, but Philly's pretty stacked in their
prospects wise.
With their prospects.
Sure, okay.
They've got Bobby Brink. He's got a sick name. He's
like
he's got 1.39 points per games. He's got Elliot Desnoyers, 1.34. Connor McLennan, 1.29. Owen McLaughlin, 1.18. I like that. It's good to see that. The only thing is, it's NCAA, QMJHL, WHL. They're all on the
unproven.
Up. Yeah. Well, they're just young.
Exactly. Like you never know what that will turn into. Like there's players that I've seen. A good example is Joshua Hua out of Montreal. He's playing in the Q. I think of the Q or maybe the O. I'm not sure which league, but he's playing the CHL essentially, and he's putting up really good numbers. He's one of the leading scorers in the league, and he's not one of the over 80. He's not 20. Like he's one of the 18 or 19-year-olds. So this is his D+1 year, so his year after his draft year, and he's performing really, really well for Montreal. But he's like a third or fourth round pick. So yes, he's performing great, and yes, he's a French-born Canadian who could play for the Canadiens, which would be amazing, considering he grew up in Quebec. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things you never know. Like, there's players that have put up crazy numbers in the CHL that never translated. For example, I'm pretty sure Dal Cole had pretty good numbers, or Josh Ho-Sang. Like, there's Dylan Strome even. Like, he's actually put up a decent NHL career at this point, but there was a time when everyone was like, oh, he might not make it, and it took him a bit longer, you know? So those could be guys like that take a bit longer, kind of like Dylan Strome. Still good, usable players, but you still need maybe not necessarily Connor Bedard level, but you need a Shane Wright, or for example, I know I don't like Mark Scheifele, but he's one of the first names coming to mind because I see him in chat. But like, you need a guy with the same skill level as Mark Scheifele. I don't want to say Mark Scheifele specifically, or like better yet, Ehlers, right?
Yeah. Or like,
I don't hate all Jets players. I love Ehlers. Like, I love Ehlers there. I like Connor.
Yeah.
But so you need guys like that too who can be superstar level players. So hopefully that turns out for Philly, because I never want to see any teams like be miserable.
Be too bad for a long time. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, yeah, every year you have to have one team or a few teams that are bad because it's just how it works. But I don't like seeing people in other fan bases miserable. Like, I don't root for other teams to finish last. I'm just saying I could see Philly not doing well, Seattle and Chicago. Now, if they do well next year, I'd be upset because my prediction was wrong. No, I don't care. But I'm just saying my educated guess would say those three teams could be pretty bad next year.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Bert is still on this call. Mike, do you want to try something for fun?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Last topic for today.
Okay. So in the chat, I have sent you a quiz, and it's the NHL stats leader per decade. So if Bert is able to hop back in,
I'm messing up what the stream looks like for 2 seconds here to get this.
So we've got 16 minutes. Hopefully we won't need all of it. There's 164 different columns.
Okay.
We have to figure out as many as we can.
Holy, here, let me get this on stream for everybody. And then let me do it the way we normally do it. So, share my screen. This guy. Live?
Oh, there's a lot.
Beautiful. Can you see it?
I can see it.
Oh, there's really no way. There's no way to do that. Okay. I just have to I just have to figure this out, but I know I can do this. I know I can do this. Okay. I just have to add this basically so we can see it on on stream. So I'll just add a new one. Okay.
And then chat, if you know any of them, please just shout it out so then we can get through all of it. We can block Berta for the minute.
Bro, why can't I? Okay, there we go.
All right.
I'm just trying to make sure I can like put this on for us. Just a massive ad popping up on my screen. Love that for us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but now you can't see it. Okay, maybe can you share your screen with everybody? Maybe you share your screen, and that way everyone can see it. And because if I click away and I click on the thing to like showcase it to everybody, it doesn't work. So maybe you do it, and then I can be like the eyes for the stream.
Cool.
So basically, okay. So we have to pick the point leader for every decade.
Cool.
Okay,
are you guys
I'm
able to see it?
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
Great.
So you want to introduce the activity?
Great. So, just for fun, while Berta's still chit-chatting, I found a quiz that shows off the stats leader for given decades, and we have to name the NHL player that has those stats. That's the leader. More or less makes sense?
Yes. I say we don't even bother with anything like beyond like the 80s, like below the 80s.
We'll give it a go, but if we type in names, they'll pop in.
Yeah, but I have no idea who played in the 20s.
No, that's totally fine. We'll get as many as we can.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. Three,
Do I
two.
okay, we just start with that? Okay, yeah, go. We
Okay.
have 16-minute timer, okay.
Just who do you think?
Wayne Gretzky.
Just give me. Oh no! Now you guys are gonna see how bad I can. Hey.
There we go. Okay, do ORR.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Ooh.
Let's get McDavid in there. There's the 10s maybe. Okay, let's try Crosby. Hey, how's it going, Air Snacks? We're playing a game right now. If anybody wants to throw any guesses in there, please do so. Ovechkin. Oh, I feel kind of like evil. I'm just like throwing random names out there. Bossy.
Yeah.
And Bossy will be on there for something. Yeah, Solani. Yeah, no, yeah, there you go.
Like that?
Yep.
No. Slani wasn't the leader of anything.
Oh, damn.
I think Bork would have been the
U. There's a U in there. B-O-U.
B-O.
Everything else was good though. B-O-U-R-Q-U-E. Yeah, beautiful.
Aha, Raymond Bork.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, we tried Team Musolani. It didn't work very well. We're guessing. So we have to guess the leader in each category. Let's put not Price, but let's put Fleury. No, it's not gonna be Price. Fleury. E-U-R-Y. No. Brodeur. B-R-O-D-E-U-R.
Sorry.
E-U-R.
B-R.
E-U-R. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Fudge. Who's Lundqvist?
I think Hextall.
Yeah, Hextall is 2 L's. No? Okay, try Lundqvist. So L-U-N-D. No, L-U-N-D Q-V Q-V-I-S-T. No, Q-V. No U in there.
S-K?
S-T and no K. No U. So S-T and no U.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Shutouts. It wasn't Fleury, it wasn't Lundqvist. Who would lead the shutouts in 2010s? Niels Lundqvist? No, it was Hedvig Lundqvist, but nice try.
That's actually Joel Lundqvist.
Okay, we already did Mike Bossy, we got Ovechkin, we got Crosby, McDavid. Oh, I feel like I'm taking L's here. Maybe, yeah, just put a Smith in there. Gilmore, Gilmour. No, I didn't think so. Oh, Richard. Do R-I-C-H-A-R-D. Yeah, there you go. Easy.
Maurice.
I was hoping to give us Henri at some point. Beliveau. Try B-E-L-I-V-E-A-U.
E-A-U?
Yep. No, damn it. Okay. Aho.
Kane's got to be it.
Aho. No.
Let's
try penalty minutes. Ooh. Oh, there you go. Shorthanded goals. Marchand. Okay. Spezza. Put S-P-E-Z-Z-A. What the hell am I looking at, Paunchy? Paunchy, please. Please. All right. Healy. H-E-A. H-E-A-T-L-E-Y.
Yeah.
No, E-Y. No, it's E-Y.
It's E-Y.
Yeah. Yeah, L-E-Y. Oh, damn. Okay, let's try Chara. We didn't put Chara in there. C-H-A-R-A. Beautiful. It's a Zdeno Chara plus minus.
Did we try Brett Hull? Oh,
we didn't try Brett Hull yet. Yeah. Daryl Sittler. I like Sittler. S-I-T-T-L-E-R. Thank you, Nick. Luongo from Cheese Whiz. L-U-O-N-G-O.
L-U-O-N-G-O.
Let's try Sedin. S-E-D-I-N from Cheese Whiz.
Sedin.
Let's try Bure. B-U-R-E.
These are all Vancouver guesses.
Bauer. B-O-W-E-R. Yeah, Johnny Bauer. Beautiful.
Johnny Bauer.
Let's try. Oh my God.
Try Tim Horton?
Yeah, why not? Let's try. Oh my gosh, he was on the SDPN podcast the other day on Agent Provocateur. Ken Dryden. It's D-R-Y-D-E-N.
D-R-Y.
Yeah, D-E-N. Beautiful. Okay, Ken Dryden goes against average.
Did we try Patrick Waugh?
No, we didn't even try Patrick. We tried Bure, Sittler, and Bure. Fudge. Okay, Sutter. Put S-U-T-T-E-R. There's been like so many Sutters in the NHL. Maybe we'll get lucky. No. Okay.
No.
Who else are we missing here?
Tiger Williams.
There you
Aha.
go. Let's just try.
Hey. No.
Let's just put like a Wilson in. Wilson. There's been so many Wilsons. Try Jones. Jones. Okay. Try
All right.
Sundin. Sundin.
No.
I'm sad that we're not getting any of the current guys. Maybe try Marlowe.
That's what I was thinking. Oh,
Thornton. Is it?
Thornton. Oh
Yeah, Joe Thornton. There we go. We've gotten the points in our decades, which is nice. He led the points for the 2000s. Damn. Let's go, Jumbo Joe.
125.
Who led in goals? Who do you think it was? Like, who do you think it was in the 2000s that led in goals?
Let in goals? Or
No, like led
scoring?
in goals. Like led.
Oh, led in goals.
Mhm. For points as a defenseman, try Letang, maybe. No. Carlson, Karlsson. Yeah, Eric Carlson. There we go. Fudge. Who was a good defense in the 2000s? Oh my god, this is a tough one. Okay, single season points. We haven't gotten the 2000s yet either.
Did we try Lemieux for anything?
No, we didn't try Lemieux, and you spelled it completely terribly there. Oh my, yeah, there you go. There you go, Mario Lemieux. Let's try. Oh my god, we didn't do Kucherov yet. Kuche. No. Kucherov. Kucherov. Erov. No, Erov. There you go. We got the single season points. Doughty. We already got the defenseman stuff for our decade. Penalty minutes in the 2010s. Who's a goon in the 2010s?
Hey, Jerome McGinley.
Candy likes the title. I appreciate that. You got a Ginla in there? Okay, good. Shots per game in the 90s. Oof.
Shots per game. I'd say Wayne, but we already have Wayne.
We already put Wayne Gretzky down, man. That's tough. Points as a defenseman. We're missing a defenseman in the early 2000s that we can't think of that was really good. Put in Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi. No? Okay. Let's try. Who was that goon that always... Oh, Salming. Salming.
NG?
Yeah, no. Okay. Let's try... Who was the goon that always played with Gretzky? What was his name? McSorley.
McSorley.
SORLEY or LY? I'm not sure. Try EY and then try just Y. Oh, Pronger. Pronger. We didn't put Pronger in yet. That's kind of embarrassing. No. Okay. Yzerman. Stevie Y.
Yzerman?
Yes, sir. We got something. What was it?
Short-handed goals.
Oh wow. Okay, impressive.
I can't check chat, but good job, chat.
Points.
I don't know how much is.
Oh, I got Yzerman there. I got Niedermeyer. Ooh, Niedermeyer. I like that. Neiderm. Neidermeyer. That's what chat's saying.
MER.
No, whoa.
Sorry.
EY.
Wait.
No, MEY. MEY.
N.
No, you had it. No, I was going from where you were. Yeah, MEY. M as in Michael.
Oh, M.
Oh my goodness. MEYER. Okay, let's try clicking on it and see if it gives you a correction. Oh, okay.
Try Potvin.
Okay.
That's
try try a Lafleur.
Lafleur.
LAFLEEUR. Yeah. Oh darn. Okay, Cronwall. Okay, yeah. KRON. Oh, Lidstrom. LIDS. No, LIDSTROM. Yeah, let's go. It was Nicholas Lidstrom. I knew it. Thank you, Nick, for the Cronwall one. You remind me of Lidstrom. Okay, who are some goons that we can't think of? And minutes played by goalies. Why do we have no one yet?
Have I not played
Sawchuk.
Vancouver Legend?
Sawchuk. Put Terry not Terry, but it's no. What the hell am I looking at? Yeah, there you go. CHUCK.
CK? Sawchuk?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
What about Rask? Oh, Tuukka Rask was on something.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
GKA.
Okay, there you go. That's good.
Shout out Leafs
Oh,
fans.
Subban, Subban. Although no, we already got all the defenseman stuff, but just try it. And then I like Brashear, Brashear. No, EAR. Yep, EAR.
Yeah.
There we go. Don
Donald
Brashear,
Brashear.
nice one. Larocque, George Larocque, LARACK. No, CQ. Sorry, LARACQUE. Damn. Now try without the C. Okay. Cujo. Oh, Curtis Joseph. That could work too. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you got it. There you go. Nope.
No.
Fuhr. FUHR. I was like, I'm swearing at you.
No.
Oh.
No.
I'll get to your question after Spider from Naruto. We have 5 minutes
the
left.
Dominator. The Dominator. Hasek.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Save percentage in the early 2000s. Who would that be if it's not Brodeur?
Marty Turco.
Oh, God. Oh, Tim Thomas.
No,
It's with a C for Turco.
Hey,
Tim Thomas, save percentage in the 2010s, but try Turco with a C.
No.
Who was the goalie? Howard. Try Howard. What the hell am I looking at, Punch? Who was the other goalie in Detroit?
Would I be silly if it was Cam Ward? No.
Oh, that's a good guess, but no. Who was the other goalie that played in front of Jimmy Howard in Detroit? Who was the older guy?
Would it be Great? No.
No. Osgood. OSGOOD. Ah, damn.
No.
Ty Domi, so just put Domi. No? Okay.
No.
Okay. Let's just try who's like all-time great goalies. We tried Dryden.
So
Somehow didn't get anything.
in the 2000s?
No, I just think of all-time great goalies.
Oh, okay. Emery?
Like all-time great goalies. Jaguar, I like that. Gigu.
Wait, Gigu.
ERE. Darn. Jim Carrey. Actually, that was a player, I think, actually. CARREY.
CARA.
What the hell? CARREY. Yo, Punch is trolling out here, guys. Okay.
Okay.
Let's just okay, guys, we need goalies. Huey, okay. HUET.
HET.
Yeah, okay, nice try. We need goalies, guys.
Hall.
Theodore.
Hey, Glenn Hall.
There you go.
How do you spell that?
Glenn Hall?
No, the other name.
Theodore?
Theodore.
I believe in you. You got this. Nice try.
Theodore.
Oh, Kiprusoff. Nope. Is that how you spell it? No, it's KIPPUR? I thought it was UR or something.
Let me just Google it.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, it's just one R.
No.
1P, I mean. 1P.
1P.
And 2
And
Fs.
then 1 plus.
Nice check. Someone's saying Price. We can try Price if you want.
Nabokov.
Oh, nice try. Try Price. Nabokov's with an O, I thought. NABO.
No, it's 2 A's.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Fudge. We're running out of time here.
It's kind of weird. Boyle? Mike Ricci?
Why can't we get into the goalies? Guys,
Mike
come on. Be honest here. Get goalies that are like all-time goalies, all-time great goalies, like in the 70s and 80s. Man, the save percentage in those decades were probably so bad.
They're actually pretty good.
Yeah, but it doesn't go back.
226,
It doesn't go back to the 70s.
Yeah.
894 for the 80s. Jeez. Mason, Mason.
Steve Mason, shout out.
Yeah, for the
Games
2000s.
played. Oh, Chelios. No.
Man, games played. 2010s, Kessel. Kessel. He didn't miss a game. Yandel then.
It might be Yandel.
Yeah, okay, Keith Yandel. Then the 2000s. Fudge, I wouldn't even know. Oh, try Kelly Rudy. HRUDY. Ah, damn. Nice try. Thank you, Cheese Whiz.
What about Yalmerson?
M-A-R-M-A-R-S-S-O-N? I don't think... We already got everything that he'd be in. Cogliano?
Zebra?
Cogliano.
No.
Nice try, guys. Bobrovsky? No, Bobrovsky's too young to be considered anything for this.
2010s.
We need older guys. We don't need current players. We need older.
Really?
Yager is not. Yeah, he's not for anything, unfortunately.
Dion.
Hey, Marcel Dion. I like that. Oh man. Okay.
Robitaille.
Yeah, Robitaille's a good guess.
How do you spell it? No.
R-B-I-T. R-O-B-I. You had that.
Yeah.
B-I.
T.
No, B-I.
Yeah.
T. A-I-L-L-E. Nice try. Yeah, it was Cogliano, but I think Phil Broken and Yandel was already playing. Weeks? No, Kevin Weeks, no. We need goalies, guys.
Bissonnette. Nope. Paul Bissonnette.
Avery. A-V-E-R-Y.
No.
Oh, nice try, guys. Thank you, Kev.
Right.
We already had Rask, though. Nice try, everybody. We missed Rod Brindamore.
We missed Gordie Howe.
That's embarrassing.
Oh my God.
Phil Esposito.
No.
Nicholas Backstrom for assists in the 2010s.
Phil Esposito.
Keith Kachuk. Ivan Barbashev for shooting percentage.
I thought like
Paul Correa, we forgot. Sergei Fedorov.
Yeah. I was thinking because there had to be, because the Oilers teams were so good, like points off a defenseman. If you just passed it to Gretzky, you were having a 100-point season.
Yeah, like anybody below before the 50s though, we had no chance of getting.
Yeah,
other than Morris Richard. Like Terry Sawchuk. We said Sawchuk. It's with a K, not a CK. Bullshit! Get out of here. We missed Tony Esposito. Mike Lutt, I don't think we would have gotten. Ed Belford, Pekka Rinne, that should have been a good guess.
Nicholas Backstrom.
Oh my God, the other Backstrom. If we just put Backstrom, we've gotten two answers for two different players.
Yeah.
Who's Roman Czechmanek?
I don't know. Well, we forgot Jacques Plante.
Oh, that's an L.
Jacques Plante.
That's an L.
Yeah, that's an L for you. We named all the Sharks.
Oh, get out of here with that. You guys have barely existed compared to mine. Like, I remember so many more players. I got us Ken Dryden, so I'll take that. He came after Jacques Plante. Marte St. Louis, we didn't even get. I don't know why we would have guessed him. What did he do? Oh, missed it.
Oh, he had
shorthanded goals.
Shorthanded goals.
27. Oh, in a decade though. Okay, that makes more sense. All right. Well, Berta's not back, so I think we're gonna end it here. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Who shot the Cheese Whiz? Nick9920, Kev Player, Spider-Man from Naruto. We had It's Candy in here. We had Air Snags, Fella Ammo. Obviously, Ponch and Berta were streaming with me. We had I want to make sure I didn't forget anybody. Lucky Looney, Critter. So thank you everybody for stopping by. We appreciate all the support, all your engagement. We love talking with you guys. We love chatting. We'll probably be back on Thursday with another regular podcast. I'm going to try to squeeze in a roster editing this coming weekend. It's my goal. I've been working on it offline. So to give you guys an update, I've finished the AHL squad / depth / prospect pools for all the teams from Anaheim to Chicago. The only players left to create are Alex Vlasic and one other prospect for Chicago for me. So we're making progress there, guys. The roster update is coming along nicely. The NHL squads we're going to do all together on stream, so don't worry, I'm not going to do those off stream. I'm going to save those for all of us together so we can all discuss current NHLers. I just felt like prospects, we'll do top prospects together, like top CHL, like upcoming draft prospects together and like those guys together, because those are more fun to debate as well. But all like the random third round picks or the guys from the NCAA, like, we don't really need to discuss that too much. I'm going to do a quick breakdown of all the players I create, and if when I do that, I do a quick roster breakdown and I showcase all the roster. And you guys, if you want to watch that, you can, but you don't have to. But if you do play with the rosters and you notice something off, just let me know and we can talk about it. And I think that's an easier way of doing it than having me literally go through every single player, because that would just take forever. And I think everyone would get bored of it by then. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But thank you everyone for stopping by. We'll see you guys all right in the next one on Thursday. We appreciate all your support. Check us out, The Fan Connection. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. And you can find Berta at BertaMan on Twitch. You can find Ponch at Ponch_YYC on Twitch. You can find me, SomelaceGuy09, as well as the podcast at SomelaceGuy09. And we'll see you all again on Thursday. Have a good night, everybody.